7,000 years. That is how long they were supposed to be dead. In the 1990s, beneath the baking sun of a New Guinea archaeological dig, a brush swept away centuries of dirt. A tooth emerged, then another. Scientists held them up to the harsh tropical light, turned them over in dusty fingers, and made a decision that would harden into fact for decades. These creatures were gone. Extinct. Lost to time. Swallowed by 7,000 years of silence. The pygmy long-fingered possum, the ring-tailed glider, two species reduced to brittle enamel and footnotes. No one alive had seen them. No one expected to. Forests grew over their memory. Rivers changed course. Generations of biologists were taught their names only as whispers from the past. Cautionary tales of what time could erase. Museums labeled their fossils with finality. Last known appearance 7 millennia ago. Case closed. But here is what the textbooks forgot. In the mist-shrouded mountains of West Papua, in the Tambrau and Maybrat regions, indigenous communities moved quietly through the same forests. They saw tiny shadows glide between branches at midnight. They heard the soft scratch of claws on bark. They had names for them, stories, warnings not to disturb the little climbers. They knew. They always knew. But no one asked them. Western science had declared the possums dead. And in the arrogance of that declaration, it stopped looking. Until one ordinary afternoon, when a citizen scientist raised his phone in the humid, breathing forest. A tiny, wide-eyed creature clung to a branch, its delicate fingers wrapped around the wood, its fur catching a shaft of sunlight. He did not know he was looking at a ghost. He did not know about the fossils, the papers, the 7,000-year verdict. He simply took the photo, his thumb tapping the screen, and uploaded it, thinking someone might find it cute. Then he walked away. On the other side of the world, a computer screen flickered in a dim office. A scientist was scrolling through citizen uploads, half distracted, when something stopped his thumb cold. He leaned closer. His breath caught. His heart began to pound. He had spent years staring at those 1990s fossils. He knew every curve, every root, every microscopic wear pattern on those ancient teeth. And now, staring back at him through a blurry, overexposed phone camera was the impossible. A living pygmy long-fingered possum. He blinked. He looked again. The fossil had not been a gravestone. It had been a sleeping promise. But the forest had more secrets. When researchers finally did what they should have done decades ago, when they traveled to West Papua and sat down with the indigenous communities, when they traded arrogance for humility, the mountains opened up. The elders spoke. The guides pointed. And in the same canopy where that photo was taken, scientists found something else. The ring-tailed glider, also alive, also watching, also unextinct. Two Lazarus species, back from the dead in a single breath. A discovery scientists called unprecedented. 7,000 years of extinction, undone by one photograph and the patience of people who never forgot. Imagine that moment. The weight of 7,000 years collapsing into a single heartbeat. The humiliation of modern science bowing to ancient wisdom. The quiet, devastating realization that we do not discover the world by declaring it empty. The forest, which never forgot, finally getting to say, "I told you so." Today, Those possums still glide through the same ancient trees. They do not know they were supposed to be extinct. They do not care about academic papers or fossil records or the humans who buried them alive in footnotes. They simply live as they have always lived, in the shadows of leaves older than our oldest libraries, wrapping their prehensile tails around branches, climbing toward a moon that never stopped shining on them. And the lesson? Sometimes what we call extinction is just our own blindness. Sometimes the most profound discoveries do not come from million-dollar laboratories or painstaking digs, but from a stranger's phone in a humid forest, a community's quiet patience, and the courage to admit we were wrong. They were never gone. We just stopped looking in the right places. If this story rewired something in your chest, let the algorithm know. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more impossible comebacks. And tell me in the comments, what extinct creature do you secretly hope is still hiding in the shadows? Because maybe, just maybe, it is. And someone, somewhere, already knows.